actually just while we're talking about this, Kelder in the chat as well. I'm just wondering who he would actually choose
Yeah,
to
I
be
was
one
just
of the
wondering the
Cable
same thing.
characters.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
we
was just
do have a
actually
bit of
reading
delay.
Kelder stuff there. There's a couple of things I was going to say. I actually do miss Smallville as well. And it's something I have planned on maybe rewatching, but I'm going to pick certain episodes from each season.
Oh yeah, actually that's a fair point as well. How they're going to tell the Cable story, because I mean the Cable character was quite interesting when they introduced him into the comic books. It was this guy who just came out of nowhere. He was obviously a hardened warrior,
Yeah.
a soldier from another time, but I don't think he really even had the idea of from another time whenever it first started out. And a lot of the backstory was introduced. Same way that with Wolverine, you didn't get most of the backstory in Wolverine until about a good 20 odd years after the character
Yeah.
first came out. But
Well,
straight away we get the origin story from him and such. So are they going to jump straight into the this is who Cable is, this is where he comes from, or are we just going to see some badass showing up in the film and starting to generate a bit of backstory from there?
I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, that's very much the case with Wolverine and other characters as well. They often don't. I mean, that's true across the board, but even minor characters and villains and so forth as well. You don't find out for years until some writer just decides, okay, I'm going to bring in, whatever character it happens to be and give them some sort of a backstory. In the movie, you don't need to know very much. See, it's hard to know. I mean, I remember reading Cable's early appearances back when they were new, but then I'm out of touch with Marvel going back over 20 years. So I mean, that's
Nah,
my
true.
only memory of the character is from back then. And yeah, he was just this badass big soldier guy that we didn't know much about him.
I think that was part of the allure of Cable. You know, you didn't really know much about him. He just appeared and did his thing, and then the whole search across time with him and Bishop fighting each other. That's what really appealed to me about it. So hopefully they'll kind of do that justice in the future.
Yeah.
Really, but I would like to see more Bishop. Really on that. And talking about that. I mean, is anyone actually even looking forward to Apocalypse?
Um,
I mean, it's gone from looking like a Power Rangers movie to a
Yeah.
grown-up Power Rangers movie.
yeah, exactly.
I am because I mean I've loved the last couple of X Men movies, and well I love all the X Men movies, even
I,
X Men 3 for all its flaws.
That was
I love the
terrible.
Power Ranger films.
Do you know, this is a sad story, but I actually remember going to see the Power Rangers the movie.
That's sad.
I was the only person in the cinema, but I actually really enjoyed it. I was in love with the Pink Ranger.
Who played the Pink Ranger?
Couldn't tell you her name now.
Power Rangers. I'm just going to look this up because Power
I
Rangers
thought-
movie. When was
yeah.
that movie?
I was around, what,
Many
92?
years ago. That was, you were talking at least 20 years ago.
Yeah.
20 to 23 years ago, somewhere in that time span.
And
Oh, I
liked it.
see it here, right. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, 1995. So yeah, 21 years ago.
Yeah.
The Pink Ranger was played by Amy Jo Johnson. I thought
Yeah.
that was... She's a regular on one of my favourite shows of recent years.
Mhm.
Did you watch Flashpoint, the SWAT team show?
Flashpoint I never seen, but I think I might check it out now that she's in it.
She's one of the leads in it, and
Yeah.
it's a fantastic show. It's a Canadian show about a SWAT team working in Toronto. Really intelligently written, and she's fabulous. And that's the only thing I know her from. I've never seen an episode of Power Rangers. I know nothing about it, but I always see her being interviewed and being asked about her time on. And I thought she was the Pink Power Ranger. I'm like, yeah, she was. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she definitely was. Going by what Kelder's saying there, which was a good time that we went under this as well, because it seemed to come up at the same time. I don't think they'll reference Cable in Age of Apocalypse at all.
Yeah, I saw that question as well. I agree. I don't see it happening somehow, just for various.
Yeah. They didn't do much with Bishop, so I don't think it's even going to be a thing. I think Cable's going to be a Fox. But no, X-Men's a Fox property anyway.
It is. No, it's the same. It's the
Same property,
yeah.
yeah, well, it's possible. I don't think they will, but it's possible.
It's just a shame, really, because when you look back at the history of it, Cable is basically supposed to be the person who is taken away to one side so that at some point in the future he will be able to fight Apocalypse. he is the one person that Apocalypse is scared of, or is supposed to be scared of. The only person that can take him down. So if you then have a story with Apocalypse, and you don't have the only person in the Marvel Universe who was supposed to be able to stop him, how else are they going to take that story? Where are they going to take that story? Do they have to water the character down? Do they have to increase the powers of other characters? Do they have to come at it from a completely different point of view? Hello,
Yeah.
Tom's there. Hi.
Tom, what are you at?
As you member of the chat.
At the minute.
I'm going to type hello back.
I am the real Scyther in the chat, just to let everybody know I'm the real Scyther in the chat.
Well, the real... I'm saying nothing.
Yeah. Well, we did say when we had a few people coming in that it was going to be interactive chat. There could be some interesting takes.
All I want to say is, will the real Scyther please stand up?
I don't have my hair dyed blonde anymore, but yes, I will. Just
say nothing at all, but
look at these hands. These
I'm
hands
not
are
even
perfectly
guess who
fine.
that is. Obviously, somebody that knows you, Tom. One of maybe your 50 followers.
It's possible, yeah.
Probably.
Somebody's come in to say hi to us.
Yeah.
But, I really see that's part of the problem that I have with the Age of Apocalypse. It's great that they're bringing in some of the older characters, some of the more powerful characters. They did the whole storyline with Magneto, and yeah, that was great. And it had so many different levels, and it had the original, civil rights side of things, and then they kind of transferred that into like gay rights in a way, or sexuality.
I'm sorry, I clicked on the flashpoint thing that Michael put up. Sorry,
but it's the fact that it just looks so damn cheesy. It really does. I mean, I've seen cosplay. I'm just going to purely go to the character of Apocalypse in this one. I'm just going to say I have seen cosplayers out there do a much better job of this character. And yes, okay, we have to have an actor in doing it in a certain way as well. But I mean, there's supposed to be a menacing presence to this guy. You're supposed to be scared to be around him. I mean, when they originally brought the character out, he was so large in stature that to even be close to him was scary. And now you have a Power Ranger villain that you're fighting, and you're like, what do you have to come in? You don't need the X-Men, you need the Power Rangers. Come in and bring out their Zords and shit, and
Well, I was reading those. That was my time getting all the Marvel comics to the first appearances of that character in X Factor and the various crossovers and stuff. And yeah, he was massive and imposing, and it really was one of those times where, and it happens from, I love it when a villain shows up and you actually are reading it and you're thinking, how can they ever defeat this villain?
Yes. Yes. Now that's. I mean. We're starting to suddenly see films coming out now where what would have been a long-paced story in the comic books, where they created this seemingly unstoppable person that they eventually overcame. Now we're just seeing people coming out that are watered-down versions of them, so that you can get a happy ending to it within the space of an hour.
Okay.
And it's not really the same. So I think when it comes to superhero films, especially if you look at things like Iron Man and stuff, when they've started working more on character progression, and you've got things like the Civil War storyline coming out, I would prefer those types of stories over the old-fashioned X-Men, who's the strongest and how are we going to take down the big bad guy.
Okay.
I think that's kind of played out at this point, unfortunately.
It probably is, and there's something very rewarding about character-driven stories anyway, so yeah, it's much better to get invested in those, I mean, I'm really looking forward to Civil War,
Oh yeah.
I mean, really looking forward to it, but that's because I'm really invested in those characters, and I feel it's been built up sufficiently over the last few Marvel Studios movies,
Yeah. No, it's I would definitely say that the Civil War one is one that the majority of people I would know of are actually looking forward to, as opposed to the other superhero films that come out. We all want to see the Batman v Superman to see, if it's going to be a massive train wreck or not. But
yes,
straight afterwards, when we get Civil War, we're hoping that we're actually going to get a film that we can sink our teeth into. We're going to have characters that, even now, from people that I know that are just as big as geeks as we are, they're starting to take sides. Are you Team Cap? Are you Team Iron Man?
Yeah.
I really don't think people's falling for that.
You don't?
No, I mean, maybe I'm out of the loop on things, It's like, who's going to win, Superman or Batman? Neither. We know that nobody's going to win on that because people know what's going to happen afterwards,
Well, have you seen the original storyline?
Yeah, I have it. I mean, I love the original storyline of Civil War. I mean, to me it looks like Avengers 3. And that's not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing. You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah,
That's not a bad thing.
And I'm looking forward to it, and I hope it's absolutely fantastic. I'm sure it's going to be another $1 billion movie. So I think it is. But hey, that's my 2 cents on it.
But I think people are. I mean, I see it on Twitter. I see the Team Cap. I see the hashtags coming up. I think people are entering into the spirit of it. I think it's certainly a talking point, and kind of, but in a fun way, which is probably what they intend. And it's all just PR for the movie. So
exactly, and like Frankie, you're saying, nobody's falling for it. I don't think it's really a case of having to fall for something. I think it's a case of
that was a bad choice of words, falling for it. Really, so it was. But I don't think people's really going, I'm Team Captain or whatever the other one is.
Oh, I am. I'm definitely Team Cap all the way.
Yeah, we can see that.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. I've always liked Captain America. So I'm really hoping it's going to be a really good film and not a big kind of letdown.
I think I might be having some problems with the stream here, guys, so I apologise if we do have any kind of slowdown or anything like that. It doesn't seem to be showing up on Skype, but I think the laptop's kind of doing something weird and is not reacting the same way it should do.
Yeah, I think it's the audio's fine anyway. I can see that it's all froze on the broadcast, but
yeah, I'm trying to sort that out at the same time, so I apologise for that. Are there any other films that you guys are looking forward to apart from Civil War? Because there's quite a few that we have coming out over the next year.
Yeah, I called up. I've actually called up a list. I'll put it in the chat because Gambit and Doctor Strange and you were on about this earlier. I think Tom, you had said you had a list. I just found the Den of Geek list and I just threw it up there. And when it comes to Gambit, for instance, or Suicide Squad, I haven't really registered that much that Gambit's even coming out.
Yeah. I gotta admit, I'm the same. Shannon Tatum for...
Yeah, that's the reason why I don't want it to come out.
Right, you're opposed to the film? Are you gonna be basically just fighting this all the way?
No, it's just him. If they bring in somebody else, then, I might actually like it. I used to like Gambit years ago, but they've done nothing with him for years, so I'm not really kind of too fussed on it at all. And Kelder's right there as well. Doctor Strange absolutely looks good.
Yeah, I am, I suppose, more excited for Doctor Strange, but it's because it's that bit further away. I don't really think about it very much. I think constantly about Civil War. I'm Civil War's coming up, and X-Men, and they're both on my Twitter feed a lot because people are posting articles. Yeah. Doctor Strange, doesn't really register that much with me yet.
I think they've really missed out on a perfect opportunity, which was in the last X-Men film, Days of Future Past. There were so many characters to introduce from that, including, as Frankie said, Bishop, who didn't get fleshed out anyway, and also the Gambit character, where originally the Gambit character was the one that they thought, when they went back, was going to be the one that did the assassination. So they could have even introduced Gambit in that film and given it some kind of lead up to the film, but they didn't go anywhere with that. They wasted that opportunity, I think. It's quite a shame, really, when you think about it.
No, Gambit was definitely wasted. You're right there. What we got to see him in the club and then in the back alley.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Yeah. And that was from. Was that in Days of Future Past, or was that in the Origins movie, the Wolverine Origins? I think, wasn't it?
I was just actually about to ask what that was on. Was it? For some strange reason, I'm thinking about X-Men Last Stand for some stupid reason. But it was
Well, we
either
had
that or it was Wolverine Origins. Sorry, Michael.